Hello there and welcome to Iron Port. It is proudly brought to you by Goil Company Limited, the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, the Ghana Revenue Authority, Ghana Community Network Services, GC Networks, Blue Consulting and Serene Insurance. Media partner is a Business and Financial Times. And folks, this week we're going to concentrate on the law that is supposed to prohibit the importation of salvaged vehicles as well as vehicles that are overaged. Now, government says no more. We shouldn't import these accidented cars, the cars that are rickety and old. You have found somewhere, some refuse dump somewhere, and we decide to come and dump them into this country or try to fix them some way, somehow. Government believes that we're endangering the lives of Ghanaians and endangering the lives of the citizens of this country. So for which reason that law has come. They don't want that anymore. So after engaging the Deputy Minister in charge of Transport as well as the Member of Parliament for Tema East, and then also the Chairman of the Select Committee on Trade, Industry and Tourism, also Member of Parliament for Efija-Kwabre North Constituency, on the subject, this is what they had to say. On Tuesday, March 3, 2020, Parliament adopted and approved the Joint Committees on Finance, Trade, Industry and Tourism report for amendments to be made in the Customs Act 2015. The new Customs Amendment Bill 2020 sought to amend the Customs Act 2015, Act 891, to provide incentives for automotive manufacturers and assemblers registered under the Ghana Automotive Manufacturing Development Program, GAMDP. The bill is also to prohibit the importation of salvaged motor vehicles comprising wrecked, destroyed, or physically damaged by collision, fire, water, or other occurrences, as well as specified motor vehicles over 10 years of age into the country. The Customs Amendment Bill 2020 will also increase the import duty on specific motor vehicles and provide import duty exemptions for the security agencies and officers of the security agencies, especially those who go on various assignments and peacekeeping in the security interest of Ghana. The bill was subsequently referred to the Joint Committees on Finance, Trade, Industry and Tourism for consideration and report in accordance with Article 174 of the Constitution and Orders 159 and 169 of the Standing Orders of Parliament. Speaking on Iron Port's live interactive program, the chairman of the Parliamentary Select Committee on Trade, Industry and Tourism, Nana Mafuameni-Ampong, confirmed that the President of the Republic has assented to the bill and thus become law from 30th of April 2019.
And under the name, that is Customs Amendment Bill 2020. It's been assented, but we need to wait for 6 months before it becomes operational. So effective probably 1st October 2020. If nothing untoward happens, it may come into force.
He said it is instructive that 6 months after the bill became law, which in this case is 30th of October 2020, its enforcement will commence.
Left to me, I would have loved maybe total ban so that at least there will be a pressure on us to actually bring our arsenals into force so that production may be triple and everybody in Ghana may begin driving brand new cars. But given where we are coming from, I know it's going to be difficult, but that should be the direction.
Nana Mafuameni-Ampong, who is also the Member of Parliament for Efija-Kwabre North Constituency, explained that the time has come for the nation to move away from relying on such salvage, rickety and old vehicles to protect and improve the lives of its citizens.
We cannot continue to depend on these salvage cars. And this high rate of accidents in Ghana, a lot of them, some of them, not all, but some come from that angle.
A Deputy Minister of Transport and Member of Parliament for Tema East, Daniel Nikwate Titus Glover, also a former chairman of the Parliamentary Select Committee on Trade, Industry and Tourism, contributing on the subject of banning salvaged and overaged vehicles, said the law is in line with the overall agenda of government towards transforming the transportation sector of the nation's economy.
Major essence of the ministry, and for that matter, the vision of His Excellency the President, as to how we can promote effective public transport system. We have too much congestion in our major cities.
He said when the enforcement of the law commences, it will improve the transport sector through modernized standards.
So I believe sincerely that we could cure this problem in terms of the congestion, where we have all kinds of vehicles that are overage that are imported into the country. And another way that we need to avoid dumping of some of these vehicles into the country. So there are times where in the past we need to fix some of these vehicles are not even there. They are not even there. And sometimes they have to improvise some parts and fix them. And this is contributing some of the accidents we have on our road. So I think that there's a way that this law will try to cure some of these challenges we have on our roads.
He said the law will ensure safety of cars, drivers and passengers and reduce records of accidents and traffic congestion in Ghana.
Because of the commercial vehicle, it does not mean that we should allow all kinds of vehicles into our country. There should be a stop somewhere. So they'll be able to control the congestion that we have on our roads. And some of these vehicles that they come, you know that they come in a van form. And when they come, they then send it to the garage. And they do all kinds of seats. You know, the welders do some improvised seats, integrate, put some metals to make sure they have seat arrangements in these wagons and all that. Originally, that is not the design.
The Deputy Minister urged Ghanaians to reorient themselves to embrace the new law that will ban the importation of such salvaged and overage vehicles as the Ministry of Finance lead the way to commence public sensitization.
Importers need to conform with the law. And how do they conform? It is a matter of education, a matter of advocacy to let the public know. Because somebody would say that even the law has been passed, we are not aware of it. Yes, we are not aware. But ignorance of the law, it is not an excuse. So the Ministry of Finance and the Customs Division of GRA need to place intensive advocacy for the general public to be aware of that the law has been passed. 6 months after the assenting of the law by His Excellency the President, on the 1st of October, it becomes operational.
Well, so if nothing changes, barring all conditions and circumstances, if COVID-19 doesn't push the deadline from the executive to any other date, it means that from the 30th of October, if you are found importing any of these rickety cars, salvage vehicles that are beyond 10 years, the government will confiscate them. So you don't have to even import them. That's what government is saying in that particular law, or I should say that is what the law is actually saying. So in line with sanitizing the transport industry, also the government or the presidency has directed right now that all ministries, departments and agencies, as well as metropolitan municipalities, district assemblies, do not procure vehicles beyond the shores of this country. You have to patronize the vehicles that are assembled within this country. That's a directive coming from the presidency. The president has directed that effective July 2020, all ministries, departments and agencies, that's MDAs, Metropolitan, Municipal and District Assemblies, MMDAs, as well as all state-owned agencies which desire to acquire new vehicles should prioritize as their first option the purchase of locally assembled vehicles they intend to procure. The Ministry of Trade would provide information on companies that are assembling vehicles in the country. This policy or decision will not only help industrialize the economy but also boost employment, encourage investment and help government preserve foreign exchange. All MDAs, MMDAs, and other government establishments are to take note of the policy for compliance. You are further reminded that the directive to seek approval from the Office of the Chief of Staff prior to initiating any process for procurement of vehicles remains in force. Thanks and counting on your usual cooperation. Honorable Akusia Frema Osei Opare, Chief of Staff. Well, now, so all MDAs, MMDAs, and state-owned agencies can only procure vehicles that are assembled within this country. And my panelists for this week, that's Honorable Titus Glover as well as Honorable Nana Meniampong, say that government ought to be applauded for this particular directive, or the presidency ought to be applauded for this directive because it will change the industrialization drive of this country. Meanwhile, the two members of parliament who spoke on the law banning the salvaged and overaged vehicles. Nanama Fuameniampong, the chairman of the Parliamentary Select Committee on Trade, Industry and Tourism and member of Parliament for Efija-Kwabre North Constituency, and Deputy Minister of Transport and Member of Parliament for Tema East, Daniel Nikwate Titus Glover, applauded the presidency for what they described as a bold initiative to direct all ministries, departments and agencies, as well as metropolitan, municipal and district assemblies and all state-owned agencies to prioritize their first option, the purchase of locally assembled vehicles they intend to procure.
The president, by this document, is giving a lot of support to this initiative, which is his own baby, because my outfit is a very bad example. We go out there to pitch. I mean Parliament. We want chairs and then we go to China to import. We want to curtail all those bad practices.
According to Nana Mafuameniampong, Ghana has gotten to the point where it needs to create permanent jobs by implementing such efficient policies.
Going forward, the president is saying that most of the MDAs, Ministry Department Agents, and then the MMDCs, and even the secondary schools, I know the next batch of cars that will give to the secondary schools or the tertiary institutions will be cars which have been assembled in Ghana here.
Okay.
That way, that will give, people how serious the government is as far as its policies are concerned.
The Deputy Minister of Transport, though, admitted that demand may outdo the capacity of local manufacturers from the early stages. Eventually, the benefit will far compensate for the initial inconveniences.
Imagine all these MMDAs. How many of these manufacturing companies do you have? I'm sure Nissan are one or two. But every institution and the kind of vehicle that they want. Whether they want a saloon car, they want a pickup, they want a Land Cruiser. So it's going to take quite a little time, but we need to encourage ourselves.
Okay.
You need to encourage ourselves because the vision that the president has brought is a very laudable one.
Coronavirus infection, the symptoms can range from mild, one of it being asymptomatic. Asymptomatic just means that you may not have any symptoms at all, and the disease process can gradually worsen to be a severe form, the severest being ultimately death.
Coronavirus yare no yare esan pa so obinya bi na se opowa gu so anase ohwinti gu so a utumenya yare ni bi
okadi ni bahani onaka oyehela ekoji ohebanye do obawulo ogobahunu obachine ojamba wohe obana sen kaka mekmemusunchon mekmenu ni enihe. We
are expected to sanitize our hands when our hands are not visibly soiled or you can't really see dirt on your hands. If you can see dirt on your hands, the best thing to do is to wash your hands with soap and the running water.
If you're using any of the cloth face masks, always make sure you have a rubber bag ready to receive it when you remove it, or you have a bowl of warm soapy water in which you can place the mask and wash. Wash your mask, dry in the hot sun for at least 5 hours, and apply heat by way of ironing.
Every now and again, Goil makes good things happen. This time, Goil has introduced Super XP Ron 95, a higher grade fuel loaded with additives and yet sold at the same price as normal fuel. Goil Super XP Ron 95 enhances engine performance like never before. It maintains the engine by keeping it clean from carbon deposits. Goil Super XP Ron 95 is designed to burn slowly and thus improves fuel economy, making you save money after several kilometers. Goil Super XP Ron 95 gives you a smooth driving experience, that is, less vibrations. Fill up with Goil Super XP Ron 95. Now there's no need to pay more for any higher grade fuel. Goil has that sorted. Goil, good energy.
Electricity. then pay your taxes. Our taxes, our future.
Because you see, without our taxes, we wouldn't have good roads, good schools, better hospitals, street lights, and other very important social amenities. When we pay our taxes, we give our children free and quality education. Talga, my money too small. Why should I pay my tax? Look, small. Salifo, it doesn't matter how small or big your business or income is. You still have to pay your taxes. The little taxes from each and every one of us, when put together, could give your community clean water or that deprived school with tables and chairs. Please pay your taxes. It is your responsibility. It is your civic duty. It is the law.
Oh, how are you?
Hi Yvonne, a few words please. Everyone is talking about the fire at your production house last week. How are you holding up? Has production stalled?
No, not at all. My crew and everyone on my set is perfectly fine because I insure with Serene Insurance. As a matter of fact, I've had all my equipment replaced, including the vehicles that were affected. My workers have been sorted out. Even my production downtime has been covered. So it's all good. I have a meeting to attend to, so I have to get going. Sorry about that.
Which insurance company did you mention?
Serene Insurance, the new face of insurance, a member of First Sky Group.
Utiliser les ports de Tema et de Takoradi, c'est avoir un traitement rapide et sécurisé de vos marchandises diverses en conteneurs, en sac ou en vrac, ainsi que tous vos véhicules en transit. Le Ghana a construit un parking bien pavé pour tous les véhicules en transit. Une nouvelle gare frigorifique pour le stockage de la marchandise congelée en transit. Avec un nouveau centre de traitement de données construit et la mise en œuvre efficace d'un guichet unique national qui permet aux données d'être accessibles par tous les intervenants, le traitement des dossiers dans les ports du Ghana est maintenant efficace et plus efficient. Utiliser les ports du Ghana, c'est profiter des systèmes de portes électroniques et d'exploitation des terminaux ainsi que de la réservation des navires en ligne, entraînant ainsi un parc de camions fiable pour un acheminement de vos marchandises dans les brefs délais avec un suivi satellitaire jusqu'à nos frontières.
Les femmes, à vous les honneurs.
Les ports de Tema et de Takoradi célèbrent la femme. Que les bienfaits de cette célébration apportent plus de bénédictions.
Welcome back to Iron Port, and coming up in local news, Goil Company Limited is giving back a lot to the fight against COVID-19. Goil Company Limited, Ghana's foremost oil marketing company, is on the mission to support efforts by government and all well-meaning institutions to fight the spread of COVID-19 by assisting health facilities nationwide, as well as the state, both in cash and kind. In line with its mission, Goil Company Limited has donated some personal protective equipment, PPEs, including gallons of hand sanitizers, pieces of coveralls, face shields, boxes of N95 masks, and surgical masks to the Lekma Hospital in the Lejokuku Krowo Municipal Assembly. Lekma becomes one of the many health facilities that has benefited from the benevolence of Goil since the emergence of the coronavirus pandemic. Goil says the gesture is as a result of the company's recognition of the critical role health workers are playing in the fight against coronavirus and will continue to support them to contribute more in that direction.
We believe that it may not be enough, but it may go a very long way, not only in alleviating the plight of those who are suffering from this disease, but also assist you as frontline workers to be able to do your work free from danger. What we are appealing is that many of us out there will listen to your advice, isolate, and make sure that we keep ourselves out of danger.
Management of Lekma praised the initiative of Goil and urged other corporate institutions to emulate Goil's exemplary gesture.
We would like to entreat all other corporate entities to come to our aid. We are very grateful to Ghana Oil Company Limited, and we are also grateful to all the other people who have come to aid our facility and all the other facilities who are helping to fight this disease.
Goyle has in recent times donated similar items to the 37 military hospital, Komfuanochi Teaching Hospital, the police hospital in Accra, and the Ashaman Polyclinic, among others. Goyle Company Limited also earlier donated an amount of 200,000 Ghana cedis to the National COVID-19 Fund to support government's efforts in combating the pandemic. International Port News next. A group of armed men attacked the FPSO SALVAGED, some 30 nautical miles southwest from Bonny Island, earlier on Thursday, kidnapping some of its crew members. The news first emerged on the website of the UK-based security intelligence firm Abridged Global, which cited a high-confidence report according to which 11 crew members of the FPSO were suspected of being kidnapped. The incident was confirmed by BW Offshore, the owner of the FPSO. The company reported on 2nd of July 2020 at approximately 4:20 a.m. local time. BW Offshore's FPSO SALVAGED was subject to an attack by pirates offshore Nigeria, in which 9 Nigerian nationals were kidnapped, in quote, the company reported. The company said, quote, the incident on board the FPSO has ended and none of those remaining on board have suffered physical injuries, unquote. BW Offshore added it was cooperating with local authorities represented on site by the Nigerian Navy. Abridged Global has cited a high-confidence source that 5 crew members of a general cargo ship, Kota Budi, have been kidnapped by armed men off Cotonou, Benin. The kidnapped crew, including the master, are all Chinese nationals. The multi-purpose vessel, built in 2013, is owned and operated by Singapore's Pacific International Lines, PIL. PIL confirmed the incident to Offshore Energy Green Marine and reported in a statement, quote, 5 Chinese crew members, including the master, were taken from the vessel and presumed kidnapped. The vessel and remaining 15 crew members on board are safe and healthy, and additional measures have been put in place to ensure their safety and the well-being of all on board, unquote. Quote, PIL is currently working with the flag state, local authorities and contacts to establish the whereabouts of the missing master and crew and is taking strenuous and urgent steps to ensure their well-being and safe return, unquote. The attack took place on Thursday, July 2, the same day when an armed group of pirates kidnapped 7 crew members of FPSO SALVAGED offshore Nigeria. DP World reports it has completed assembly of a proof of concept test section of the world's first container high bay store system at Jebel Ali port in the UAE. Dubbed Box Bay, the automated handling system stacks containers up to 11 stories high in a fixed rack framework and has been developed as a joint venture by DP World and SMS Engineering Group of Germany. The world's largest supplier of crude to the international shipping industry, the Philippines, has opened a green lane for seafarers to allow for free movement and crew change. In a move that should ease the crew of many thousands of Filipino seafarers stranded at sea, at the Philippine Green Lane Joint Circular was signed on Tuesday, led by Philippines Foreign Affairs Secretary. The joint circular takes effect from 2nd July 2020 and will allow for the safe travel of seafarers subject to health protocols from the Philippines government. Alhassan Yakubu says, please, these days I'm not able to check duty of used cars using the Ghana Trade Hub portal, and can you help me ascertain the reasons? Well, Alhassan, the duty calculator app on the Trade Hub portal has been disabled. Romeo Frempong says we want government to emphasize on the actual category of vehicles that are banned for importation. That is it overaged or all accident vehicles? An accident vehicle that is not overaged be imported. Government should be clear to avoid possible confusion before we import. Well, Romeo, government says customs will soon clarify details of the law and all classes that will be affected. Nanapia says, please, what about Christo Asafo vehicles? Why are we not patronizing his vehicles? Nana, government again says, his Ministry of Trade will make the list of manufacturers available. Who knows? Christo Asafo may be part of the list. Johnny Abebio said, please, what about heavy-duty trucks? Are they also banned from importation? Johnny, heavy-duty trucks which are not overaged nor salvaged from a bad condition may not be prohibited according to the law. Kwame from Madenta says, please, does the ban include right-hand drive vehicles too? Well, indeed, Kwame, right-hand drive vehicles have been banned from importation according to the law. Jimmy says it's good the minister has made all these references to Bedford, but we need action. We don't want an easier said than done statements. Frank from Tamale says, please, I want to know what they're doing about the Neoplan assembly plant that has been abandoned. Well, Frank, again, we may have to wait for the Ministry of Trade to give us full details of car assembly plants and manufacturing companies that are available. Andrew NJJ says, I want to know when the law that's banning the importation of the salvage vehicles will take effect. I mean the exact date. Well, Andy, the ban on accident cars became a law on 30th April when the president assented to it, and enforcement is due in 6 months from then. That is 30th of October 2020.
And next up are the schedules of vessels that are in the ports, those at anchorage, those expected in the coming week, plus the Bank of Ghana exchange rate that you need to know to clear your goods out of the port. That's it for this week's episode of Eye on Port. Thank you for watching. Also, thanks a lot to the entire crew, the executive producers, Mrs. Isi Sudoberg, Mrs. Esther Jebidonko, Godwin Kabute is behind the camera, Joe Apia, the producer for the week, and also Frank Gomelesio, the technical producer for the program. See you next week.